In this video, I'm gonna walk you through how I manifested unexpected money in just 48 hours. I'm not gonna give you just some fucking shit affirmations that don't work. I'm gonna actually give you the stuff that actually help you change, give you a clear actionable plan so you can start manifesting money, gathering data on how you can create money super fast. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Luke Anning, former multi-six-figure business coach, host of a top 2% podcast, and I'm currently growth partner with a ClickFunnels award-winning company, which means we're doing over $1 million a year. And yeah, I'm excited for this video because it's going to be disgusting. You are going to get so much value from this, as I'm super excited. So get your pen, get your paper, lock in, get your notes out on your phone, whatever that is. We're going to go crush it. So before we dive into the steps, I want to talk about some of the common mistakes people make when trying to manifest money online or in general. The first mistake is relying solely on affirmations without doing the inner work. You can say I'm rich all you want, but if you deep down, you don't believe it or feel worthy, you're just repeating empty words. And if they don't directly resonate with the challenges that you're having, you're just repeating other affirmations that may or may not work and you're wasting your time. The other issue is the courses, the gurus who preach receiving without you giving or doing. Manifestation isn't about taking shortcuts or avoiding effort. It's about aligning your actions with your intentions, because you need to take action and give to the world, give to the universe, give to God in order for you to be able to receive. You cannot just say, hey, give this. Like, think about it like this. If you're breathing in, breathing out. If I'm continually just breathing in, there's gonna be a point when I need to breathe out. So that's how the universe works, is give and receive. Lastly, so many people are scared to put themselves out there. They want to receive, but they're afraid to surrender control, to take risks, and to truly step into their potential. So that is what we're going to work on in this video. Now, let's get into what I actually manifested. It might seem small to some, especially as literally last week I sold $47,000 in 3 days for my business partner, but I manifested $600 for a service I haven't even created yet. And I only started this 2 days ago. So it was completely unexpected, but it's just the beginning. My ultimate goal is to hit 10K on this next month, but with the self-belief I'm cultivating, I genuinely believe that I can bring in 100K before I go to Bali. So that is 3.5 weeks from now. You're probably thinking, okay, that sounds like a lot, but like, how the hell have you got that level of self-belief? One, it's based on my evidence and actions of the past of like, what if this guy can do it, then I can 100% do it. Like, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. I am not that smart. I've just built my skill set over time. It's just skill set. But the first thing that I did is a money mindset exercise. So I want you to lock in with me, and we're gonna write down words, but I want you to, every word that we write down, I want you to think out loud or write down. I would prefer that you write it down, the exact thing that comes up as I say each word. I did this with my financial coaches. I invested like 6K into them. So you don't have to invest 6K to get this exercise. You get it for free. So I'm going to read out some words. You guys are going to just notice what comes up in your mind. What comes up? What's the instant thoughts? And I'll tell you mine after. So the words are money. What comes up in your head? Write that down. Rich. What comes up there? Making lots of money. Saving lots of money. What is coming up for you when we write these things? Like, try and get down these instant thoughts. Investing money. Managing debt. Sales. Having $10 million or pounds in your bank account. Financial freedom. Worthy of millions. Okay, so now that we have your words, you may think, Luke, that was super fast. You can just click back. It's okay. I want you to think, like, what are these words? Do these, like, it's probably interesting. You're probably thinking, wow, these don't necessarily serve me. And this is because your ego is keeping you safe. Your ego is holding on to these beliefs limiting beliefs, if you will, holding on to these subconscious thoughts in a way to keep you in your current reality, to keep you in your comfort zone. And that is not great because you likely want to move past it, right? What if we flip the script? That's what we're going to do now. So to give you context, what came up for me was money. When I said money, like my mind was like, what of it? Rich was like, yeah, right. Making lots of money, it was like, I can do it, but it's never that. But then, for example, for sales, it was easy. Why? Because I've been doing sales for like the last 3.5 years. Like, it's my game. I love it. It's one of the best things that I've ever done. Sales is service. I literally, every person that we bring on, I get to help. It's a win. But that's my belief around sales. So you've got to flip the script. So I want you to think of, like, looking at these words, what is the opposite of these words? What's the opposite of these things that would serve you? And I'm actually going to read out the mantra that I have that we're going to use for the rest of the video. So again, you want to look at the limiting words that you're putting, and you want to put the opposite on your piece of paper or on your notes or whatever that is. So I'm going to read mine out so that you can take stuff from mine, pause the video, take a couple minutes to go do that, and then come back. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to counteract what you're saying, because what we're going to do, we're going to repeat, and that is going to counteract your beliefs over time. So my mantra is, I have mountains of money in my account and coming in. I am rich. Money is always there. I trust in God, and He has created me for millions in my account that I smartly invest and manage effectively. I deserve the money I earn and success that I have accomplished. I have $10 million in my bank account coming in, as I am financially free now and always enough and worthy of financial security and financial freedom. So that's mine. Take a couple minutes to go figure out yours, and then we will go into step 2. Okay, so step 2 is clarifying your intention. I had to get clear on who I wanted to become, not for anyone else, but for me. And this is where so many people get stuck. They build their lives on other people's expectations and then wonder why they feel empty. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen people who get really rich, or stars, or DJs, or pop stars, like all that type of thing, and they make loads of money and they just feel so unworthy, so out of alignment. They're like drinking, they're trying to escape from it, like it's a complete mess. So what I did was I answered some of these questions that allowed me to step into understanding who I wanted to become. And this made me realize that what I was currently doing was not getting me there, at least not at the speed that I wanted. Like for me, I want to build an 8-figure business and I want to heal the world. I also have a deep desire to help homeless people because I was there once. I was sleeping in my car when I started my first business. I was sleeping on my friend's floor, whole lot of mess. And I know God put me here to help other people. And as I build, I'll be doing freebies. I'll be doing trainings like this, and I'll be offering free sessions of my deeper work. But I needed to understand who I wanted to become, because for one person, you might want to just have a family and like have enough means for that, and that's absolutely fine. Some people will tell you that those goals are too small. Your goals are what are in alignment with you. If you feel envious of other people and other people's things, that's a sign that your goals, your desires are in the wrong place. That's why some people love the flexy stuff. They love the materialistic. That's because that's what aligns with them. It's not because they're trying to necessarily show off. It's because status is what drives them. But you need to understand what drives you. For me, I'm driven by growth. I'm driven by improving and getting to the next thing. And I'm also driven a little bit by creating things that other people aren't prepared to do, or the skill set doesn't allow them to do. So I want to help them build that, and I want to cultivate my own one. So you want to ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself, if you had $10 million in your bank account, what would you create? What would you still want? What would you need? What would be some of your core needs if you had $10 million in your bank account? What would you do if you had $10 million in your bank account? And what do you want to be remembered for when you die? Because we are all going to die. So what do you want to be remembered for when you die? What do you want people to speak about? What kind of person do you want to become? To the friends around you, to your relationships, to potential business opportunities if you're looking at that. How do you want people to speak about your service and speak about you? That's going to help you start understanding the type of things that you want to create. Okay, Once you have that, step 3 is market research. And you might be coming into this like, why would I do market research? I don't even have a business, bro. Well, this is because, like I said earlier, these are the steps for me, for one. But I realized what I was doing wasn't currently serving my true purpose of healing and helping the world. So no matter where you're at in business, life, whatever you do, this is going to be one of the most valuable things to do, because you are asking people what their problems are and then coming up with a solution, which is all what entrepreneurship and business is about. Fixing people's problems faster, easier, better, in a more guaranteeable way than them doing it by themselves. Because think about this, trying to build something yourself without the skill set is so dumb. I definitely value you taking action and trying to build something, because that's going to build you way faster than being super analytical. But if you value your time on earth, why would you wait? It's like the analytical people who are like, I want to find the best way to do this, but I'm going to just research until I get there. But can you imagine saying, I want to improve my squats, and then the only thing you do is read books, watch YouTube videos on how to squat, and then you never go to the gym? Versus the person who gets a trainer and goes and learns how to do it first time. You either pay with money or you pay with time. And you've got to ask yourself, what do you value? Because we are all going to die. And in the worst case scenario, you can always LOPM, leverage other people's money. So if you don't have savings, if you have access to credit cards, this credit card literally has 0% interest for like 19 months. So you have like 19 months to pay off your debt. You're fine. Like that is more than enough time. So another crucial step with the market research calls is actually, what do you say? What do you do? I'm going to outline this more in the next video, because I'm literally sending out around 200 to 400 messages today. But to give you some context, I once booked 50 calls in 3 days by sending 100 messages. So no matter where you are at in business, this is invaluable, because you are directly asking people about their problems and then providing solutions, and you're taking action on your manifestation. This is how I got my second investment, because we did the market research, which I haven't fully outreached yet, but I did my market research with one of my friends. In exchange for the market research, I could just give out loads of value. So for everybody that hops on a market research call with me, I either give them the 2 Facebook posts that made my business partner $90,000 in 2 days, or I do my neuropsycho visualization, where we just outline what the good look like at a claritative standpoint, and then we build out action steps in your mind so that your subconscious can start seeing that vision actually come into fruition. It's insane. It's what helped one of my clients hit his end of year goals in literally 2 weeks. And it helped this friend that also invested in me, his end of year goal. It helped him hit his end of year goal in literally a few weeks as well. So those are the kind of things that I offer, but I'm also like, sometimes I don't think that I'm going far enough with giving out. So I'm like, okay, we can also do some coaching as well. And from the coaching, what we realized was that he needed to productize his business. So what that means is he needed to work out a repeatable way so that when he goes to each client, it's much easier for him to deliver a faster solution, kind of similar to what I talked about earlier. And because as you build a new business, especially a service business, every new client is different, and that was his problem. So he was creating all this energy around each new client, and then he didn't have any activation points. And activation points are like the key pillars that you need to pull in order to get someone to a solution. So I was like, how long have you been trying to figure this out? Just like pure curiosity. And he was like, a year. And I was like, okay, well, I can do that in a day, probably a couple of hours with you. And then once we have the market research in full with these activation points of what your productized service could look like, we can then buff the service value up to increase the value of your service. And if anyone asks you, do you have a service? Then we at least on the market research calls have the activation points for him to book a potential sales call in the next few days to get him on board with a new client, even though he might not have had a service offer ready, which is similar to me. But this is why my private clients make money so fast, because they they take action, they do what I say, but also the market research method like that is killer. Like I remember one of my students, she did around 13K a month. She booked 10 calls on her first day with this, and then in the previous like year, she'd booked like no sales calls or no calls whatsoever. These are not sales calls, by the way. These are just market research calls. But anyhow, this is the most valuable thing that you can do. The next thing that I did is, it's kind of in fruition with this, but you know the mantra that you guys took earlier? Every morning I meditate for 30 minutes, and I get it. Some people struggle with meditation and they're like, oh, I don't have time for this. But you do. You're just not prioritizing. So I used to hate it. I was too impatient. But after forcing myself to stick with it, I realized that it makes my day better. I'm more clear-headed. I'm more driven. I'm more emotionally regulated. And here's what I do. So I go to Spotify and I put on Alpha Music playlist on Spotify. And then I set a timer for 30 minutes. So I either set an alarm for 30 minutes, or there's like a Spotify function if you have Spotify Premium that will stop your music after 30 minutes. And then I use the app ThinkUp to play my mantra in my background. And I breathe deeply and focus on the voice. So I'm not sure if you can hear this, but this is so helpful. I am so happy and grateful. I have mountains of money in my account and coming in. So I literally just listen to the mantra over and over again. And then what that does is it rewires my subconscious to actually believe those things. And in order to achieve, you need to believe. It sounds so cliche, but we need it. And then whilst I'm meditating, because for me, I do struggle with the focus bit, like I breathe deeply and I focus on the voice. And then any time that I feel like I go off voice and I just start thinking about random shit, I'm just like, I take a deep breath and I just tell myself in my head, focus on the voice, focus on the voice, focus on the voice. And then, yeah, I just do that each morning. I'm working on building a habit for the evening as well. And then afterwards, I go outside, I get some sun, I drink water, and then I get moving. And that's all I've done in the last 48 hours to manifest the money. And now, obviously, I'm taking more action to send out all these messages today and fully book out my calendar. But otherwise, that's all that I'm doing, is a blend of inner work, then a blend of active inner work, so not just passive and listening, but active inner work and actually reworking the beliefs, and then also the action steps of market research. So if you are where I'm at, or you're like, hey, I want to give this a go, like commit, send it. And again, next video, I will break down more in detail what you need to do for the market research stuff. And yeah, from there, you can go ahead and go and win and make money. So, or at least create a service and then go and make money. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this super helpful and want to dive deeper, I am offering more market research calls. I transparently say this, it's not for sales. It's not for sales. I'm not doing this to sell you. I'm doing it for data so that I can eventually create a service. I have had people pay me for this service that I haven't created, but which I'm so grateful for, thank you God. But it's genuinely for market research, and then you essentially get 15 minutes for me to either help you out with the 2 Facebook posts that made my business partner $90,000, or we do the neuropsychovisualization, or we do the coaching, or you can just ask me questions. Usually for 15 minutes of my time, I would charge anywhere from $250 to $500. So literally a freebie. Like, this is one of these opportunities that you really do not get. It's like, I can tell you that there are people in the space that you pay 15 minutes at a time. It's going to cost you like similar to what I charge or more, but this is free. So part of the action taking of this video, if you want to get the most out of it, yes, take action with the other things, but book in with a market research call. We can probably even figure out your market research questions on that call as well. And I will see you there. So link is down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment about what you've manifested or what you've won with, and we'll see you in the next video.